Welcome to the Talking Smack Show, and today we're recapping Raw from the 17th of March. Fun one today over in Brussels, Belgium. It was pretty short, only 2.5 hours this week, but a lot of action in the episode nonetheless. So we started off the way it really had to. We had John Cena come out, and he got booed and booed and booed to start off with. A couple of times he sort of faked us out like he was going to leave. He couldn't be putting up with this nonsense, but he persevered. It was a fantastic promo, in my opinion. I think the reasons he gave for turning on Cody really were very valid. A lot of the sort of ways that he might be feeling, I think, could be considered pretty real, pretty authentic. And it was just brilliant, I thought. Some of the lines he had, I'm not a face, I'm not a heel, I'm a human being. Hit you in the feels. I enjoyed that. He talked about how people made a joke of him and not being able to see him, which is hilarious. I'm sure everyone on earth, well, anyone who's ever been on Instagram has probably seen a John Cena being invisible meme. And I really enjoyed it. He talked about how everyone loved Cody now because they were putting him, as in John Cena, out to pasture. And it was just a great promo, I thought. I really, really enjoyed it. He told, first of all, obviously he had to go at everyone booing him, but then he called everyone who was cheering him phony, saying that basically they just liked him because it made them feel good about themselves and didn't really care about him. And then he told us he's breaking up with us. I mean, honestly, I deal with enough rejection in my life. I don't need John Cena shutting me down as well. It was a great promo. I thought really raw, really heart-wrenching. I need to work out some personal issues, and John Cena's just adding to them, to be honest. Fucking prick. And then Cody came out, and the crowd went fucking nuts for Cody. Man, that guy, I think the John Cena, Cody's been over, obviously, for a couple of years, but the John Cena rivalry is just orbiting him. He is enormous now. The Brussels crowd were nuts all night. I'm probably biased, obviously, being in Europe, but I think the European crowds, they never fail. I think it's probably to do with our football culture, or soccer if you're American culture, but the arenas are always just absolutely nuts, man. And they went crazy for Cody. Probably not the biggest reaction. I'll come to that in a bit, but they went wild for Cody. It was awesome. And then Cena opened up to talking to Cody, but going, listen, kid. Whoo! Whoo! Don't, man. And Cody snapped back. Enough! And it's certainly not, kid. It's WWE champion. And I think there's a bit of a theme going at the moment with people maybe feeling like they're owed a bit more respect than they're being shown. We've got it well, to be fair, both of them are really feeling like they're not being respected or treated the way they should be. Cena not being respected by the crowd. Cody not being respected by Cena. And Cody spoke about how the crowd maybe sometimes didn't give John Cena the best, but they also gave him the best because he deserved it at the time. He spoke about wanting to find Cena because at the moment this isn't him. Obviously, it's also a bit of a play on the "you can't see me, my time is now." I saw today it's 20 years to the day since, or maybe 21. I think 20 years to the day, but to the day anyway, since "You Can't See Me" became Cena's song, and it's quite fitting. He spoke about he's not changing the song because it's his song. It's not the fan song. Just adding to his disdain for the crowd, to be honest. Like, you really feel like he's just had enough of being treated like shit. Like, when he's a face, everyone wants him to be heel. Now he's a heel, everyone can't stand it. And like, the guy, there's no winning for him, to be fair. But I thought it was the best possible opening segment. It was probably like half an hour. It was a long segment, but I really think it was the best opening segment we could have had to Raw. I loved it. I think it's building this rivalry. I think it's going to be timeless. And it was just a brilliant, brilliant opening. And then so Cody left after, and then he said, before he left, he said, I'm going to go find Cena because I want to wrestle him, not this whiny bitch. And then Cody left, and then Cena dropped the mic later and walked off. He looked like he's just had enough. Oh man, the problem is, and I'm sure this is going to be a case quite a lot, they're going to have to really, really work hard to keep Cena as a heel, because the promo was so passionate. I was just like, man, this guy's so good. And all I was really thinking about was what a shame it is that we're losing him and that he's going to retire at some point. He says the end of this year, but whatever it is, it's probably we're in our like last couple of years at the very least, and it's a massive shame. But oh, he's so good. I was just buzzing. Like, I love wrestling. Like, it gets me feeling like a kid with excitement. And this segment was as excited as I could be, probably. I can't wait for WrestleMania. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous how excited. Like, I'm thinking about it probably every day at the moment. Like, should I go to the bar for it? Will I watch it at home? Do I want to watch it with people? Do I want to watch it alone? Do I want to drink while I watch WrestleMania? Am I going to do a show straight after? Am I going to do it in the morning? And I'm just so excited for WrestleMania, and this match like is the main thing. Like, I can't wait for WrestleMania. Like, I'm Cody Rhodes versus heel John Cena. I can't wait for. Oh man, I need to move on because I'm so excited for WrestleMania. But after John Cena left, it panned to Michael Cole and Corey Graves. Nice to have him back. I like Corey Graves. I love Pat McAfee, but I really like Corey Graves. So it's nice to have him still in the mix. And I'm glad they brought Corey back and didn't go for Wade Barrett, who I probably prefer Wade Barrett to Corey Graves. But if we can keep Corey in the mix and keep him in WWE, I don't want him to go anywhere. So that was cool. But so Cole and Corey are talking about it, and then Michael Cole talking about Cena called him acting. He acts like an irrational prick, and he just seemed so pissed off. He was fuming, and I think like historically, Michael Cole and John Cena are really good friends. I think they used to like travel the road together and things. Probably like Michael Cole's too big for John Cena now. Like, Michael Cole's an important guy, but I think they were tight historically. So Michael Cole seems to just be on a tear. Like, he's like a fine wine. Every year he just seems to be getting better and better. And I'm here for Michael Cole. Like, cuss us out, man. But again, WWE having an identity crisis. Are we PG, or are we getting back to like badass attitude era where we're dropping cusses left, right, and center? We're smashing people's faces in. Where are we? Like, come on, WWE, be a little bit more transparent with me. You're like, first I've got Cena breaking up with me, and then I've got you. Like, I can't read you. You're playing hard to get. You're teasing me. Oh, never mind. So then we had a no holds barred match, Ludwig Kaiser versus Penta. I was buzzing going into this. I will never stop talking about Penta beating up women on Lucha Underground. They were all hardcore matches, and Penta is a wild, wild boy. He, again, just building up my case for why we need to bring back the hardcore division for WWE. Penta would thrive in that. Like, Penta would be like a little Mexican Steve Blackman, in my opinion. But let's sign the petition, get your names on it. Let's bring it to Trump. Executive order, hardcore belt coming back. Come on, Daddy Trump, sort us out, please. But the match was wild. Like, Ludwig Kaiser is obviously an elite heel. Penta is pretty crazy. The match was 100 miles an hour. I couldn't get enough of it. Ludwig Kaiser begging Penta for mercy when Penta had him in the corner of the chair, and then getting up and smacking him, and then Penta doing a flying kick into Ludwig Kaiser, and then Ludwig dropping to his knees. Another kick. It was great. Like, it wasn't a long match, but it was a fun match. Penta won in the end. He got the Penta driver after doing the Mexican Destroyer onto a chair, but not really executing it. But still, Mexican Destroyer onto a chair, Penta driver, 1, 2, 3. Good night, Ludwig Kaiser. And as they got the final count, I was glad the match was, I enjoyed the match, but we need to draw a line under Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser. And then Penta did a promo announcing, thank the Lord, that he is moving on and he is coming for the Intercontinental Championship, which, again, what is going to happen with the Intercontinental Championship? I think it surely points. Oh shit! It surely is setting up for a multi-man match. My very rickety light setup just collapsed on me. I think we're just going to be a little bit dark. It's late now. A little bit of a late night's Raw recap today. But I think we're going to have a multi-man match. Surely. I just think there's so many good mid-tier wrestlers in the mix, and WrestleMania always has a multi-man match. I'd be happy if Penta had a one-on-one match with Bron Breakker. I think it would be a good WrestleMania match. But AJ Styles, I think, really wants that Intercontinental belt, although he now looks set to have a match with Logan Paul, but Logan Paul wants a bet. I think I'm going to talk about this again once we finish at the end of the show. But yeah, so Penta's coming for the Intercontinental title before Bron Breakker's match, which I'll cover in a bit. Penta and Bron Breakker had a little face-off, no words exchanged, but just a little. So, I'm going to talk about the next segment later on. So we had a match, Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile. American Made came down to accompany Ivy Nile. And then at the very last minute, Chad Gable came running down as well. And he was wearing a suit. And obviously, something funny's going on with Gable, man. Since he came back from Mexico, he just isn't the same man. But Ivy Nile looked pretty pissed when Chad Gable showed up. So the match went on. Generally speaking, it was fine. I really like Ivy Nile in the ring, but her finisher is hideous. I don't think she can't execute it, to be honest, can she? Like, I don't even know what it's meant to look like it anymore. Every time I see it, it looks different and it looks poor. But generally in the ring, she's fun. I really like her. But another wrestler who maybe needs a new finisher, or maybe for Dakota Kai, maybe she just needs to execute it properly. That might be the solution here. But The match was fine. LWO ran down, attacked American Made, and then chased Chad Gable through the crowd. This distracted Ivy Nile, and Dakota Kai got the win. There's nothing to say there, really. So then we had a contract signing, Iyo Sky and Bianca Belair. While they were signing the contract, Iyo Sky said she's not going to be disrespected anymore. And then, shockingly, Rhea Ripley came down to the ring. She is on a fucking tear. So her and Bianca Belair started screaming at each other again. Iyo Sky got involved again. Bianca Belair shoved Iyo Sky in the face again. That fucking bitch, Bianca Belair. And then Rhea Ripley did that filthy headbutt to Bianca Belair and then grabbed Iyo Sky and powerbombed Iyo Sky onto Bianca Belair, who was sort of laid on the table. I assume she was meant to powerbomb her through the table, but it didn't really matter. Then Rhea Ripley picked up the contract and signed it and walked off with the contract. Adam Pearce looked fuming, and followed Rhea Ripley out. Later on in the show, we saw Rhea and Adam Pearce arguing, and Pearce was telling her that signing the contract doesn't mean she's in the match. Rightly too. If they just allowed that, it would have been ridiculous. But he was arguing with her, telling her it was like talking to a child. Then Bianca and Iyo attacked her. Sort of attacked each other. And Rhea just smashed the shit out of both of them, basically. My assumption is Rhea is just going to keep turning up and fucking up Iyo and Bianca until eventually they'll both snap and demand that she gets in the match. Although she also has like a rematch clause, surely. Like, why either doesn't she have another match with Iyo Sky or insert herself into the match? The rematch clause seems to sort of be like a thing of the past I don't know. But yeah, we're going to have a triple threat, right? And it's going to be pretty sick because Iyo Sky is cool as fuck. Bianca Belair is an absolute unit in the ring, despite being one of the most boring wrestlers, like personality-wise. And Rhea Ripley is just a monster. She's so cool. So after the contract signing, but before the second fight, Adam Pearce was coming back from the contract signing, and Jey Uso was about to come out, and Gunther confronted him. Adam Pearce split them up, sent Jey out. The crowd, I said that there was a bigger reaction than Cody. The crowd went wild for Jey. Like, Jey is over, but this was over. It was crazy. And there was a funny little exchange between Corey and Cole. Corey was talking about Cole perhaps hurting himself, like yeeting a bit too much. And Cole went, I yeet every week. It just tickled me. I enjoyed that a lot. So Austin Theory attacked Jey. Jey literally just speared him instantly. 1, 2, 3. It was just the most resounding win you're going to see this year. And just poor fucking Austin Theory, man. If anyone misses Vince McMahon, it has to be Austin Theory. Like, since Vince left, his career has just been in a downward spiral. He went from having the selfie camera to now losing within 10 seconds, generously. Obviously, Grayson Waller jumped in. He got a super kick. And then Gunther again snuck up behind Jey. Jey was expecting it, but started to be put to sleep. But then Jey managed to break out of it, running into the turnbuckle, and he managed to sort of fling Gunther, pull the belt off of Gunther, fling Gunther out of the ring, and then hold the belt triumphantly over Gunther before throwing the belt down at Gunther. Gunther looked irate, but one referee was able to hold him back. So when you think about like Tiffany versus Charlotte on SmackDown last week, kind of makes Gunther look like a bitch. Maybe just me. So then we had a tag match, American Made versus LWO. I really, really rate American Made, or the Creed, formerly known as the Creed Brothers. They're fantastic in the ring. They're so dynamic. They remind me quite a bit of some of the other Olympic style wrestling teams, like Team Angle. I can't remember what they're called, but Brock Lesnar's team, like just strong, athletic dudes. But they're really cool, and I think hopefully once we've got WrestleMania out of the way, they're gonna do a bit of work on the Raw tag team titles. I'd imagine one or two of the SmackDown teams will come over, and maybe we'll have like Fraxium come up from NXT, possibly the Hardys at some point, and they're hopefully going to put a bit more effort into the tag division. And I'd like the Creed brothers to be given a pretty good shot in all of that. So when I say LWO, it was the good LWO. So Ray and Dragon Lee. Ray is just, I think he must have a Benjamin Button picture somewhere in his house in San Diego he lives, or I don't know, I was but probably say a bit of racist joke, like I was trying to think of a Mexican version of Benjamin Button. But Ray is just timeless. He had a bit of a period about when he left, was that like 2019, 2020 time, I think. He left for a couple of years and went to Lucha Underground, and he looked pretty washed up then. But since he's come back, I assume he had an operation or something, but he looks so fit still. He's like physically, he's in a bit worse shape, like looking at him. But in the ring, he's not missed a step, particularly doing tag matches where he gets to sort of rest a little bit now and then. When he comes in the ring, he is just 100 miles an hour. Dragon Lee, I'm becoming more and more impressed with Dragon Lee as well. Like in terms of in the ring, he is as good as any luchador probably I've seen. Like really, really fun, really strong, crazy athletic, crazy fast. Just like every luchador, like in the ring, there's not an issue at all. It's can they do promos, which we've not really seen from Dragon Lee recently, and can they sell the story in the ring, which so far I'd say he can. So hopefully he becomes they're obviously marking him up to be the heir apparent to Ray. Hopefully he manages to do the business really, because he in the ring is faultless. But we'll just have to wait and see. So LWO got the win clean over American Made or Creed Brothers. And then stunningly, who would have thought the American Luchador attacked both of them and wiped them out? He smashed both of them, which didn't make them look too good. Kind of made him look like a bitch, as Shane Gillis would say. But yeah, he smashed both of them. And now, interestingly, Chad Gable didn't accompany the Creed brothers to the ring. Whether that's a coincidence, I don't know. Michael Cole's adamant that Chad Gable is the American luchador. But Corey Graves and myself, not too sure. Like, we saw the luchador being arrested or escorted out while Chad Gable was being interviewed last week. So, unless Chad Gable can be in two places at once, go and explain that to me, because it just can't be him. So, Seth Rollins came out for a promo, and honestly, the only thing I've got to say about this promo is about his name. We're told he's not Seth freaking Rollins anymore. His name card as he came out just said Seth Rollins, no freaking. And then the ring announcer called him Seth freaking Rollins. So I don't know what's going on. The crowd were into him. He got a heels reception again. At the moment, the sort of trio story of Seth, Roman, and Cody. Seth, Reigns, and CM Punk. There's not really like a heel in that. I think or thought Seth is, but the reaction he got was good, and he didn't really do any heel shit. He told us that Roman and Reigns and I think Punk are going to be on SmackDown on Friday. But that's literally it. Nothing to it. Pretty shit. So then AJ Styles was backstage, just following up on him trashing Logan Paul on the Raw Recap podcast last week, saying Logan Paul didn't belong there, that he hadn't done his dues, and then carrying Cross with his plethora of haircuts to match whoever he's talking to. He had the long straight hair to match AJ today. Basically said, well, maybe Logan's just better than you because it didn't take him so long. But that was it. There was no match or anything. AJ just left. Then we had... So earlier on in the show, we had Dom Mysterio telling Finn that he had an idea for a new member of the Judgment Day. Finn has not been very receptive to this in the past. But Dom said that he thought Penta should join, and Finn lost it. He called Dom a snake for trying to say that Penta, who's going for my Intercontinental title, should join the New Day. He was fucked off at Dom, basically. And then he just stormed off. So then we had at the end of the show, main event, we had Finn versus Bron Breakker. And I was thinking, after SmackDown, I'd spoken about wanting fighting champions. And whilst, like, again, Bron's defended the title quite a lot, to be fair. But what I was thinking was what's been nice on all the shows recently is we've had like main events or certainly near the end of every show, belts being defended, which is good because we've still got about 4 weeks until WrestleMania, but two, I just think titles need to be defended more often. There's that whole you have to defend it every 30 days, but just in general, like, title matches are exciting, especially when you don't know who's going to win. And I thought there was a chance Finn might win it today. So I was pumped for this. So Braun came out. He is one of the wrestlers cursed by the generic entrance music. Like, his music could have been Finn's music, could have been Damian Priest's music, could have been Rhea Ripley's music. It's that sort of drum and bass metal entrance. Like, give me a well, it's the big show any day. Like, we want to know who's coming out. Like, we've got enough chorusy entrance songs. We need to get back to broken glass, car crashes. If you smell, it's time to play the game. Like, obviously, we're all biased with our generations, but the Attitude entrances were the best. The current day entrances are trash. Sort it out, WWE. We want better entrances. It's not the first thing I'm going to get Trump to sign an executive order on. That's obviously going to be the hardcore title, but bring back good songs. Make WWE entrances great again. So their match was good. Finn is in that same bracket, not quite up there with Sami Zayn and KO for me, but he's, in my opinion, like the two most underrated, underappreciated, not getting their titles like they deserve superstars are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Those two sort of side by side. I'm a big KO guy. And then straight below them, Finn Balor for me. Like, how he only held the title for one day, got injured, and has never been given it again is a crime, in my opinion. He is so compelling in the ring, so much drama, so much storytelling, technically excellent. Maybe not the best in promos, but doing some fantastic heel work. Obviously, we used to have the Demon. That'll come back at some point, you'd imagine, some point soon. If we look at some of the promos, we see it sort of lurking in the background now and then. But he again, deserves a title. Also, a couple of other bonuses. he looks like just a Greek god, like he's been sculpted out of stone, and also is a Tottenham fan. But Finn is very, very, very underrated for me. Put on an excellent match against Bron Breakker. It was great seeing like the sort of speed and power of Bron match with the technical excellence of Finn. Couple of times Bron went to run at Finn and he used the sling blade to counter and did it really effectively. So then Carlito and Dom came down to assist Finn, help him get the win, try and make up for the argument they had earlier. Carlito distracted the ref. Bron Breakker was about to do a superplex to Finn off of the top rope. Well, it's a superplex, obviously. It's off the top rope. And Dom saved Finn. He pulled Bron off, or distracted Bron to get him off. And then, but Finn distracted as well, then slipped, caught his cock on the turnbuckle. Ooh. And then Breakensteiner off the top rope into the spear. 1, 2, 3. Bron Breakker retains his Intercontinental title. Then Carlito and Dom attacked Bron Breakker. Penta came down to save Bron. And then Bron Breakker speared Carlito in half. Judgment Day left. And then we had a face-off between Penta and Bron Breakker. Penta was holding Bron's title and then gave it to Bron. Bron held it up over Penta. And it was probably the camera angle, but he towers over Penta. Like, Bron is a big fucking dude. So we must. You'd imagine we're going to have like a tag match in the next couple of weeks. Maybe another person who wants the belt. But we're going to have a multi-man Intercontinental title, I assume. We're going to have Bron, obviously. We're going to have Penta. I think we're going to have Finn. I pray we have Dom. Dirty Dom deserves the belt. I think Dom deserves it. Let's hope Dom gets it. Maybe AJ and Logan Paul involved in that match. Maybe just they have a singles match. Maybe Ludwig Kaiser in the match. I doubt Pete Dunne manages to get himself into it. But we've got a couple of UK shows coming up. So Pete Dunne will probably be wheeled out then. So he might get himself into the conversation. But we'll have to wait and see. Generally speaking, really fun SmackDown again, I thought. The Dakota Kai Ivy Nile match was meh. Seth promo, like they may as well have just held up a billboard saying Roman Reigns is going to be on SmackDown. That was all it really offered. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Really fun main event again. Enjoyed the no holds barred match, Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser. But the whole thing was that promo at the start. It's just fantastic. Brilliant hearing Cena's reasoning. Cody confronting him, telling Cena to look at it himself and be himself. And also Cena is getting big. Like, he looks like he's put on 10 pounds of muscle. By the time we get to WrestleMania, I think we're going to have 2007 squatting 600 pounds John Cena. Big dude, hopefully. If you would like help with your nutrition or your health, scan that QR code in the bottom corner just here. Foundations Health Coaching. We will help you go to sleep like you've been kneed in the face by CM Punk. We will help you go from Otis to Finn Balor. But that is everything. Thanks for watching, and I will see you after SmackDown next on Friday. Peace.